Vtuber graduations are something we see all the time in the indie side. People realize that the time commitments that didn't exist during lockdown have come back in full force, or people are graduating in real life from university and can no longer remain online for extended periods of time. In other cases, burnout or just lack of interest drives people into shutting down forever. But no, not agency graduations. We all know what happened to Zion Lanza from Niji-sanji's EXO Lay Wave. An excessively long suspension only 2 months after debut, followed by a contract termination a month later. It was really the first major case of an agency VTuber destroying their career in broad daylight. But that's not what we're focusing on today. We need to talk about professionalism.
Yeah, Niji-sanji beats me, so you're not allowed to collab with me.
And I want it to be known that this was not the first time.
As both liver for Niji-sanji and someone who has suffered through essay sexual assaults, I cannot condone a lot of the jokes and a lot of the things that she said, and it devastates me. It fucking devastates me.
Niji-sanji's initial tweet regarding the suspension of Zion was like any other of their statements. It was perfunctory and vague, hinting at bad behavior using general words like repeated misconduct and insensitive jokes. This is the level of PR one would expect from a large corporation trying to save face, regardless of how dire the situation is behind the scenes. Come a month later when she was terminated, it came as a genuine surprise to me when they aired out a long list with immense detail regarding her actions. This is not normal behavior of a corporate entity. It almost feels petty. And that is the professionalism I would like to touch on. Not individual actions on stream for clicks and views, but about how the agency and talents go about responding to drama and graduations in specific. Immediately after Zion's announcement, the remaining EXO Lay members opened streams to talk about it in slightly more detail.
Honestly, I don't know if I can say that I'm in the state to wish her good luck on her future ahead for now.
Was this the right move? Perhaps in a way, it helped quell the angry and popcorn-eating fans by hearing the other perspectives on the matter. It painted a fuller picture of the fact that not even her co-workers could handle her actions, and that the appropriate measures were taken in the end. But in the aftermath, 11 million people bathed in the addictingly sweet chaos that ensued, digging up Zion's previous identity and blowing it up with hate comments and even subscribers. More attention was pushed onto this person than in her entire time with Niji-sanji. If your goal was to drop her and leave her to fall into oblivion again, the pettiness and eagerness to deter other agencies from picking her up, in turn, only boosted her platform. If we shift gears a little and look at it from another angle, what image did that paint of Niji-sanji? In the mindset of a talented and popular indie VTuber who may be interested in working with an agency, seeing that level of aggressive transparency would and probably should make you second guess about applying to Niji-sanji. If they will go to such lengths with one of their own, they will continue to repeat that pattern of behavior in the future. If you make a severe mistake, or something goes wrong during your time in the company, the chances of them posting a public statement in the same vein as Zion's are way above 0%. Not even your genmates will stand up for you publicly. It could ruin your online career for the rest of your life. Why would you take that chance? This story is not unique to Niji-sanji, as just a few days ago, Project Kawaii's entire third wave left the company at the same time. No matter the motivation or story behind the scenes, it is alarming that 4 talents, who were doing really well for themselves, decided to break off. But what is even more alarming is the sheer unprofessionalism that occurred within the next 24 hours of that announcement. The Gen 1 and 2 talents came together to script and record an entire hit piece on these girls, doing their utmost to promote the company in a feeble attempt to clear Project Kawaii's reputation from the well-deserved speculation. An entire wave does not just up and leave without there being a reason, and yet I want you to listen to this unedited clip to hear how they talk about the management.
In response, management agreed and proposed different plans and directions for Gen 3. Despite these attempts to ease Gen 3's worries and adhere to their requests, the members of Gen 3 ultimately still chose to graduate as a group. Gen 3 broke the news to us about 13 hours after the start of their meeting with management. Because they had initially told Gens 1 and 2 that they were not going to threaten graduation and that this meeting was not such a big deal, we were completely caught off guard. We felt lied to. Just a month prior, members of Gen 3 were praising the company, and in recent days, multiple Gen 3 talents were making plans and projects with us and saying how happy they were to be with us.
In the days that followed, management spoke with each talent of Gen 3 in an attempt to better understand what led to their decision to graduate, as their collective reasoning did not make any sense to any of us. It was found that each girl had her own individual reasons that differed from what they initially told us was the driving force behind the emergency meeting they insisted on having with management. Initially, not everyone wanted to graduate, but they decided to do so as a group anyway. Management put in a lot of effort to understand and negotiate with Gen 3. There were many days and nights spent meeting with them at a time that was convenient for the talent, even if it was in the middle of the night in Japan. Management went to great lengths to try to get them to understand how extreme and sudden their decision was. Nevertheless, Gen 3 decided to graduate from Production Kawaii.
We in Gen 1 and 2 felt hurt and betrayed by Gen 3's decision. We felt and still feel that there was so much to look forward to in regards to this company's future. So to leave at this point in time made no sense to us. Positive things like events, concerts, additional 3D model debuts, and plans for increasing support for talents. How could they not see what we see?
Then taking to Twitter with, "Please stop joining our company just to leave in a few months." Hey man, did you even think before you posted this? Your agency is already under intense scrutiny with having 50% of their talents graduate since opening in 2021. You are not doing them any favors with actively perpetuating a toxic work environment out in the open. It doesn't matter if you're angry or if you're justified in your mind. There are thousands of people hearing about Project Kawaii for the first time due to this scandal, and you're showing your dirty laundry like it has no influence on future support or new talent acquisition. Anyone who has a brain and held a corporate job before will know that this is wildly inappropriate. There is also a very real chance that the departed talents are under NDA and are unable to defend themselves for the time being. You are bullying them. And for what? Short-term emotional gratification?
You know, we are the ones telling management that we want to be transparent. Do our managers and CEO ask us to say and do the things that we say? No.
Nothing can be done to regulate how agencies deal with graduations, but there should be a crackdown in management on how talents are allowed to talk about the said graduates. They are your brand representatives. What they say and do will reflect on your company and stocks. If you want to continue to survive in this highly competitive industry, a certain standard for professionalism needs to be drawn up. Otherwise, you'll go down the path of the notorious
Wachter, who in the past months has lost numerous VTubers, even going so far as to expose personal information about VTubers who have left this agency. Wachter this morning would take control of this account and then issue out a communication showing off 2 printed pages that we will not show here, as it revealed the full name of the talent behind Misore Hina, now Meika, along with her general location and even a personal identification number. That's right, many of the talents will no longer have Wachter in their name.
Wachter is a relatively small agency in the Japanese and Spanish spheres of VTubing. If you've heard of them, then you've also heard of the multiple cases of doxing and lawsuits between graduated talents and their CEO. This is the definition of unprofessionalism to the point of brand destruction. There is no trust to be gained anymore. They recently formed a new male talent lineup, hid the fact that they were under the Wachter brand, and yet the talents still decided to graduate before they even debuted. None of the people inside of your company respect you anymore. Wachter has become a laughingstock, and yet the reality is too painful to even laugh at. Potentially, all of this could have been prevented if the CEO hadn't played the petty card and revealed sensitive information about their talents. Again, nothing to gain except momentary emotional satisfaction. With these back-to-back incidents in the corporal VTubing sphere, it is becoming ever prevalent that something needs to change.